Tomorrow night's going to be really, really interesting. And the fans, the paying consumers, those who have so much invested in the Oklahoma City Thunder, among the best fan bases in the NBA, they got a choice. Do they voice their displeasure, animosity? Do they welcome him back? Speaking of Durant, do they do both, as you outlined, which I think makes some sense? Let's find out. Gentleman who's part of the broadcast team, he is the Thunder studio host and played in the NBA for a long time as well. Top pick back in the day, 4th overall, I want to say, out of Bowling Green. And we're talking about Antonio Daniels, who's been with us before, and it's been a while, though. Antonio, Tiki, and Tierney, how are you today, man? What's happening?
Hey, what's up, fellas? Thank you guys for having me, man.
Yeah, you got it. Our pleasure. Let's face it, tomorrow night, all eyes on the NBA, and all NBA eyes, I should say, really all sporting eyes on your city and the team that you broadcast for. Based on the interaction you've had with fans thus far leading up to Durant's return, what do you think is the anticipated emotion, reaction for Kevin Durant tomorrow night?
Okay. Well, Scott Brooks came back. Scott Brooks got cheered, got a standing ovation. Serge Ibaka came back. Serge Ibaka got a standing ovation. When Kevin Durant comes back, Kevin Durant will get booed.
Wow.
I honestly believe that. And the reason I say that is this. Scott Brooks got fired.
Yep.
Serge Ibaka got traded.
Yep.
Kevin Durant made a choice to leave. Now,
Bingo.
I'm not saying that I have an issue with that. I'm not saying. Now, I'm speaking from the Oklahoma City Thunder fans' point of view here. Choosing to leave is different than being fired or being traded.
Okay.
Especially when you are Kevin Durant.
Agreed. I think you lay that out well. Now, how about this, though? Is there a period during right before the game, during the introduction, do you think that he deserves a symbolic acknowledgement initially before he turns into the enemy?
Yeah, of course. But, realistically, he turned enemy the moment that he chose to sign with Golden State.
Yeah. True.
So
yeah.
Let's make that clear. He's not like he's not an enemy until he walks into Chesapeake Energy Arena. The moment he said, you know what, I'm leaving Oklahoma City to play with a team that we lost to in 7 games in the Western Conference Finals, at that moment, I believe it was July 1st, he turned enemy then.
Wow. Let me ask.
Honestly, I believe the moment that Kevin Durant steps off the plane tonight after they play Memphis, he'll get booed.
Yeah, tell me how the media, like the local beat writers and the local stories, did, let's face it, often influence fan perspective. How are they covering this?
Of course. The thing is, I don't do a lot of reading that way. I don't honestly. I don't. I try and stay away from that piece of it. But I just know from doing NBA radio and being in Oklahoma City and seeing the fans, it is a great fan base. One of the best and classiest fan bases in the NBA. But I'll tell you this. When Kevin Durant chose to sign with Golden State, they were hurt. They were hurt. And the hurt is real. That's not something that the media is making up. That's not something that the media is just pulled out of thin air. There are fans here that are hurt by Kevin Durant leaving and going to Golden State.
I want to play something for you. Of course, we're talking to Antonio Daniels, playing the NBA for a long time, also the Thunder studio host. I want to play something for you. Maybe you heard it, maybe you did not, but also for our audience, Antonio, that Russell Westbrook said last night after the Cavaliers game, I have not heard anything like this publicly from Westbrook toward Durant, and then I've got a question about Westbrook, but let's play this. Go ahead, guys.
It's kind of up to them. It's up to them what they want to do. Honestly, obviously Kevin's done a lot for Oklahoma City and our team when he was here, so it's kind of up to them. It doesn't really matter to me one way or another. It's a basketball game. Got to go out and compete.
Now, it sounds relatively benign, but he did say that he's done a lot for the city.
For sure.
So
you can't deny that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but it seems like Westbrook is maybe preparing himself to end the perceived friction, put an end to that stalemate. What do you think?
I have no idea. I think him acknowledging right there, I think he's acknowledging the obvious.
Yeah.
As far as being down there, you have to you have to pay homage for what Kevin Durant has done. And I'm not just talking about on the basketball court. And this is the reason why the people of Oklahoma City were so hurt. Because they not only beloved Kevin Durant because of the basketball player that he was, but because of the man that he was in the community. He was heavily and deeply involved in that community.
I know.
Anytime a tragedy happened in Oklahoma City, Kevin Durant was there. Kevin Durant's wallet was there.
Yeah.
So when you lose that and that goes somewhere else, so people just think this is just all about basketball.
Yeah.
It's not just about basketball.
Yeah, but
The
hold
fact
on a
that you're
second.
losing a good human as well.
Yeah, but then shouldn't they cheer the person? If that's the case, and I know that he's very committed to the community, then shouldn't basketball be secondary? If that's the case, you should get a standing ovation for all he did donation charity-wise.
Should, yes, should.
But won't. But won't.
But understand they're hurt because of what they lost.
Yeah, but can
They're
they still be?
Because of what they lost.
Look,
if you lost a great basketball player, and a awful human being, you wouldn't care as much.
Yeah, I hear you.
Like, okay, well, he can play, but you know what? Like, I didn't like him as a person. He didn't interact with children. He didn't interact with the community, so we're not losing much. Who cares? If you want to get a great basketball player, but off the floor, he's not a good role model. He's not a good person. Who cares? But when you lose both, when you lose a guy that's one of the top guys in the league on the floor and one of the top guys in the league off the floor, that hurts even much more.
All right, we're talking about really the biggest story of the sports world this weekend. Kevin Durant returning back to Oklahoma City, first time as a non-Thunder, if you will, member of the Thunder. Antonio Daniels, former NBA player, he's also part of the broadcast team, and Antonio's with us here on Tiki and Tierney.
Antonio, now BT and I thought that Oklahoma City would take significant steps back this year, and we knew that Russell would have to be otherworldly. Now, he has been because he's averaging a triple-double. But in some ways, hasn't this helped Russell Westbrook because he's no longer sharing the stage?
Individually,
yes.
I think it has. Individually, yeah. But collectively, as a team and as an organization, no. And I'm sure if you ask Russell, he would much rather have the collective success as opposed to the individual success. So I think Kevin Durant, him leaving and choosing to go to Golden State, yeah, was it good for Kevin Durant? Yes. Was it good for Russell Westbrook individually? Yes. James Harden leaving, was it good for James Harden individually? Yes. But collectively, I'm not sure how much better it was. It may be further down the line because it's giving them an opportunity to kind of grow and now build organically. But right now, I'm sure if you were to ask Russell, it's great. He's having a great year.
Yeah.
A great year, MVP year, which I think a lot of people expected. But as far as, where they were a year ago, being 48 minutes from the NBA Finals, this team obviously is not there right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think now we know that Russ doesn't ever dap anybody up before games, doesn't shake hands, doesn't do any of that. Do you think that there is an exception either before or after this game?
I don't. I've only seen two people that Russell Westbrook embraced after the game and before the game. One of them was Scott Brooks. The other one was James Harden. That was it. I say all the time on our broadcast, you would think Russell has no friends in the NBA. No friends. Because when he takes the floor, he takes it with a certain anger, and that drives him. I think his anger is a blessing because it allows him to play the way that he plays night in and night out. If he kind of goes out, because that's the NBA now. Now guys are so cool with each other. You see guys embracing each other before the game, timeouts, instant replay timeouts. All these guys are sitting there talking about what they're – and Russ is not – he's not that animal. He is not that animal. And I think that's what allows him to play with that anger, that aggression, and that passion that he plays with night in and night out.
He's one of a kind. Yeah, Antonio, good spot. This should be – I know I'll be watching. The whole world's going to be tuning in. Your city is center stage, man. Thanks for a few minutes.